What's up, guys? This is Scott from Woke Societies. It is a beautiful night on May 29th, 2019, and I just want to jump right into some of the news that happened today. Right off the get-go, probably I think it was around 11 o'clock, Robert Mueller decided to have a press conference today, which is very odd. I honestly don't understand why he decided to do this. We waited 2 years for a report that was supposedly going to prove that Trump obstructed and was pretty much lying and was colluding with the Russians during the 2016 campaign. So I just wanted to play the short clip here, just for like a minute, and we're going to see just what he said here real quick. Hold on.
If there were co-conspirators who could be charged now. And second, the opinion says that the Constitution requires a process other than the criminal justice system to formally accuse a sitting president of wrongdoing. And beyond department policy, we were guided by principles of fairness. It would be unfair to potentially accuse somebody of a crime when there can be no court resolution of the actual charge. So that was Justice Department policy. Those were the principles under which we operated, and from them we concluded that we would not reach a determination one way or the other about whether the president committed a crime. That is the office's final position, and we will not comment on any other conclusions or hypotheticals about the president.
So you heard right there, guys. They did not find anything that proved that Trump obstructed or committed any kind of crime. And just what I was saying before, like in my last intro video, the last 2 years, you can see almost every single day by the shitty Washington Post and New York Times and even Rolling Stone, that's just a few, of every day bashing Trump, just completely showing the leftist side of this mainstream media, pounding it into the masses' minds that something was going on. Trump did commit crimes, and Mueller will get to the bottom of this, and he's going to expose Trump. And not only did Mueller, when he came out with his initial report, prove nothing, which is why I posted before today this picture right here. Mueller with I've actually gotten this from some other sites that I've heard, some people I follow, but we call this the Big Nothing Burger because nothing came from his report. It's very obvious. But just to go back here, it says right here, we did not determine whether Trump committed a crime. Now, as this video goes on, he does go into saying that, yeah, we can't indict a sitting president. He's saying pretty much that he can't indict a sitting president, but it's going to be up to Congress at this point to see if they can impeach him. So that was his little play out there, because right after that, I think actually right before this, he did say he was going to be resigning today, and that's no coincidence that he's doing that. He got exposed, and he knows because he was all part of this, and he has to play along now because, again, he proved nothing that Trump did was obstruction or collusion. So I just wanted to start out with that because this personally bothered me because, like I said, before I became woke and started to really look into what was going on, I followed this garbage and I ate it up. You know, I trashed Trump as much as I could, just like everybody else that I knew. And whether you like Trump or not, whether you agree with the way he acts, his attitude, not everything he does is I guess I would say professional as a president would act, and I can agree with that. Some of his antics, but whether you like Trump, like I said, he was spied on. And he had to deal with this crap for 2 years of nonstop abuse by the mainstream media, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And as as the days go on here, the FBI is going to be exposed, Comey will be exposed, and the rest of these dark actors are going to be exposed as well. So that's that for Mueller. I just want to transition right into some UFO stuff. So if you guys don't know, there's a new show on the History Channel called Unidentified. It starts, it says right here, Friday, May 31st. This is a show that is being headed by the Blink-182 singer Tom DeLonge. And what I would call this show is in our community we have a name for things like this, a show like this. It's called a limited hangout. And what I mean by that is this show is going to show partial truths, and what they're going to be telling you isn't the problem. In my view, any kind of disclosure is good disclosure, but they're not going to give you the full truth. And this is going to get in the people's minds. This is all over the place right now, all over social media, all over the big media outlets. They are talking about the new Navy guidelines and the protocols that I posted probably about a month ago. They're going to get a slew of people to get into this show, and they then become what we call the gatekeepers, and they're going to get their narrative out to the public and not disclose everything that there is to know about ETs, their craft, and it's not good. And if you know anything about this show, Tom DeLonge teamed up with John Podesta, who is a very, very evil person. He's part of the Clinton machine. He was involved with Pizzagate and numerous other things. He's part of the deep state for sure. And I don't know why Tom would decide to link up with a person like John Podesta, but hey, Tom. I believe Tom has good intentions. I just think he got caught up, and with these guys, and he's been into UFOs for a long time. I know this because I actually enjoy Blink-182's music, so I know a little bit about him, and he's been in the UFO community for a while. He even made a band called Angels and Airwaves, and if you ever watch their music videos, they're usually out in space somewhere with some kind of space theme. So yeah, here is another article that I pulled up from the New York Times here, another wonderful, disgusting mainstream media. And the only reason why I pull this up is because I just want you guys to see the kind of stuff that these guys are writing. It's funny because the same New York Times, the same Washington Post, or we call WAPO, they make fun of conspiracy theorists, they make fun of QAnon, but now all of a sudden they've jumped on the UFO bandwagon. But the other things that Q talks about they're all conspiracy theories, right? They're all full of murders and violent people, and they cause all these issues, and it's just so hypocritical of what they say. But I just wanted to scroll through this article here and just read you guys some of the things that were in here. So again, they're talking about the new protocols in the Navy and how they're saying they're changing them as to they're not going to make their soldiers feel uncomfortable or crazy for reporting these things, and they're going to be open and honest, and they want the Navy to disclose everything that they're seeing. So this says the sightings are reported to the Pentagon's shadowy little known advanced aerospace threat identification program, which analyzed the radar data, video footage, and accounts provided by senior officers from the Roosevelt, Luis Elizondo, a military intelligence official who ran the program until he resigned in 2017, calling the sightings a striking series of incidents. Here, so the pilots began noticing the objects after their 1980s era radar was upgraded to a more advanced system. As one fighter jet after another got the new radar, pilots began picking up the objects but ignoring what they thought were false radar tracks, which is complete BS. There has been multiple sightings for decades of these UFOs and craft. It wasn't because they upgraded their radar now, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my god, we can see all these UFOs now. It's complete BS. They've been seeing these for decades. And Yep, we talk about the Lieutenant Graves. He talks about how he almost hits one of these things and the way they move. They move at breakneck speeds. They don't know how they move that fast, and I can tell you right now how they move that fast. It's through anti-gravity. And they talk about how the speed doesn't kill you, it's the stopping that does, with the acceleration. And yes, these ETs that use these craft, they're used by their consciousness. Some of these crafts are even, it's their own entity, they have their own consciousness. There's no one driving them. Everything is consciousness. And they're not going to talk about that in these kinds of articles. They're just, like I said, they're going to give you little itsy bitsy pieces of truth. And here we said we have aircraft that can fly at 30,000 feet and ride the surface, but combine all that one vehicle of some type with no jet and no exhaust plume. So here they tell you, look, there's no jet engine, there's no fumes, there's no combustion. And that's because the technology that we still use is ancient technology compared to what these ETs are using. They're using anti-gravity, and this is not a new concept. And if we want to go back in history just a little bit, we all know about Roswell, the Roswell crashes, the little green men. The government wants you to think that, yeah, there was something that crashed, there was little green aliens, and that's really all we know that's happened. But besides that, everything's just conspiracy theories. I can tell you right now, that's not true. The Roswell crashes did happen. Their technology was taken and re-engineered, and we rebuilt it. And that's where we have space programs out in the universe already. In our solar system, they're out there. This has been going on for decades, and if you really want to know how deep this goes, just go into the documentary Above Majestic and watch Above Majestic. It's about a 2-hour documentary that discusses the secret programs and how we hid them. And that's why I laugh when I see that the Pentagon is talking about, oh, now we're really starting to look into these UFOs. They've known about these aliens, they've known about them for a very long time. And yep, here's that. And I brought up this Rolling Stone article here because I just want you guys to start to see the narrative that the mainstream media is going to start throwing at us. And this one kills me. Yet another sign of the apocalypse. Navy pilot reported UFO sightings on almost daily basis. Right here, let's inject fear. Let's inject these beings as evil beings that want to take us over. It's the end times. It's just complete garbage. I'm not going to go into this article. It's pretty much describing what I already talked about the Navy pilots reporting their sightings. And I hate the way they spin these things as yet another sign of the apocalypse, like the world's ending, we can't stop it. All these beings want to do is take us over. And honestly, most of them are benevolent beings that want to help progress our planet, and they want us to move in a more positive direction and in a more positive vibration than what this article is spinning it as. Because eventually, I just have a feeling there's going to be more articles coming about this, and they're going to try to paint the UFOs and these beings in a negative light when they absolutely have nothing but the best intentions for us. So, moving on, I want to just go to Q here real quick. If it'll pull up, I don't know if it's going to pull up here. Here we go. And QAnon's been attacked relentlessly the last few days, the few weeks. It comes in ebbs and flows depending on how the mainstream media wants to attack. The latest post we have here is from May 26th. It says, ask yourself a very simple Q. Will the fake news, media, and other controlled assets expend this amount of time and resource attacking, attempt to discredit, cast at conspiracy, a LARP, this movement if it did not pose a significant threat? You attack those who threaten you the most. Logical thinking. And it's very true. There's multiple attacks on Q. They call the followers insane, violent, racist, Trump followers, and it's just not the case. I'm gonna probably post a bunch of videos about QAnon and what they call they call Q proofs, which literally QAnon really started about 2 years ago on the internet. They are military insiders that we don't know exactly who they are. We know they're white hats. They have, I guess you could say, prophesized, but they have a clear inside knowledge. They're close. They have to be somewhat or very close to Trump, or know somebody that's close to Trump, and they get these Q drops, and they pretty much tell us. They give information that we decipher ourselves, and we try to figure out what's going to happen, and everything they say on their Q site comes to pass, and it's very creepy. And I did not believe any of this stuff until I actually researched it myself, and it's pretty crazy how accurate they are. And the one thing you have to understand about Q is that they are an intelligence war right now, and they will do drops thinking, and we all think as soon as Q drops, a bunch of our followers, we're all over it. We're trying to decipher what they're saying, and also they know the deep state is looking at this, and what Q is trying to do is drop disinformation to see if they will make a move to expose themselves. And that's what they did here with this post. And as you can see, this is a picture that they made. Here's Comey and a Moab bomb being dropped on him. And when this came out on May 12th, 10 days had gone by before that, May 2nd, before Q posted. So we were all very anxious. We didn't know what Q was doing. And they dropped this picture, this meme here. And we were going nuts. We were calling it Boom Week. We were ready for some D-class, ready for some FISA, and for this scumbag to finally get exposed for using the FBI and getting the warrants that he illegally obtained to spy on Trump and to frame him and make it believe that him and Russians are colluding. But this is just Q. I just wanted to show you guys, if you guys really want to do some research on Q, this is where you would start. And there's also called Q maps, and they give the breakdowns of exactly what they're talking about, and they provide proofs of everything they talk about and the facts that back it up. And I just want to show an article here. Let's see. This was by Talking Points Memo: How QAnon Ruined a Tiny Earth Day Party by Spreading Rumors of Jihad. So, this group QAnon, there are followers. There are bad infiltrators that pretend to be Q followers to try to cause dissensions in the group to make Q look bad. There was a tweet that came out by James Comey. You can kind of see it here. It's called 5 Jobs I've Had, and it was kind of a cryptic message. And these guys broke it down on a tweet that said 5 jihadis, chemist, strike replacement night school teacher, FBI director interrupted. And pretty much what it boiled down to is that there was going to be some kind of attack on Grass Valley Charter School Foundation. So there was a lot of noise that was brought up when this had started. All over Twitter, they got caught so much wind that the authorities actually thought there was something that was going to happen and actually canceled the event. So as soon as this happened, not even hours as that happened, there was reports from sites like TPM, Rolling Stone, again, the mainstream media, we all know who they are, and they were coming out with how QAnon ruined a tiny Earth Day. Conspiracy theorists is completely trashing them, and it was, for a moment, it looked bad on QAnon, but the thing is, there are bad actors in each group. And again, there's people that try to infiltrate QAnon and say they're QAnon, but they're not actually QAnon. Sometimes the followers, they dig really deep, they see things, and this stuff happens. And not even a couple of days, this is kind of crazy. Police find pipe bombs in Grass Valley woman's home. Yeah. Pipe bombs were found in a woman's residence after an anonymous tip was called into the Grass Valley Police Department Saturday afternoon. Officials say the call came around 3:30 p.m. and pointed them to Mary Dalton's home in the 400 block of Lamar Court. The pipe bombs were found in her closet. So, And they say anonymous tip. Who knows who that is, but either way, this was only blocks away from that school. So you can't sit here and tell me that Q wasn't onto something here, or the followers were onto something. So when we saw that, we kind of threw that into the media's face, especially Rolling Stone, the Times, all of them. We took that post and threw it right into their face because there was obviously something going on, and something could have happened to children. Who knows what would have happened, but this was here. But either way, I just wanted to cover this, guys, just to give you some background. This is my first video. They're going to get better. I don't even know if anyone's going to watch this. Hopefully they do, though. We'll see. But yeah, we went over Mueller, went over some UFO stuff. Again, guys, watch out. Just be careful what you listen to. If you really want a good reference to as far as the secret space programs and really what's going on with the ETs out there in their craft, and just go to, if you guys can get Gaia, they have an awesome show called Cosmic Disclosure with Corey Good. He goes into great detail of how he was part of the secret space program, and he's also a whistleblower because he believes that everyone should actually know what's going on up there. There's whole races up there. They're on the moon, they're working with humans, and they are trying to better our universe, and that is why I want Space Force so badly. So maybe now that Trump can move on with his life, after the Mueller report, we can get some real disclosure. But yeah, that's going to finish this up, guys. Again, it's May 29th. Thanks for hanging in there with me. If you can, subscribe, obviously, and like the video. And I will be posting more content. Stay woke.